Chapter 1. The Stoic Frame. Walking in without needing a thing. Epictetus said, "He who needs nothing is invincible." Let's start with the moment before you even walk into the room. Most people enter a meeting or an interview like they're stepping into a courtroom, already guilty, nervous, overprepared, craving approval, hoping to be accepted, hoping not to be judged. But the Stoic doesn't walk into that room hoping. He walks in grounded, detached, prepared to give his best, but needing nothing in return. That mindset alone puts you leagues ahead of your competition. Why? Because people can smell desperation. It leaks out in your voice, your body language, your smile. It turns your strengths into question marks and your confidence into performance. A Stoic doesn't perform. He simply is. He's already done the internal work. He knows that whether this opportunity is gained or lost, he remains the same, intact, calm, disciplined. His value was never up for discussion. The meeting or interview is simply a room. He's bringing value in with him, not trying to extract it. You've seen this before. The candidate who doesn't oversell, doesn't stumble, doesn't try too hard, and somehow walks away with the offer. Why? Because their energy says, "I know who I am. Take it or leave it." That's Stoic. And it's rare. What is the Stoic frame? The Stoic frame is the mindset you carry before, during, and after any high-stakes encounter. It's a silent contract with yourself that says, "I don't need this to validate me. I'll speak clearly, listen deeply, and stand firm. I won't beg, rush, exaggerate, or shrink. If this ends with rejection, I am unchanged." It's not arrogance, it's inner security. Marcus Aurelius faced death and betrayal without flinching. You can face a VP and a panel of blank faces. Epictetus lived as a slave and still found unshakable purpose. You can survive a tough question without losing composure. The Stoic frame is your armor, not the kind that hides weakness, but the kind that reveals it's no longer needed. How to build it before the meeting. You don't build the frame by watching motivation videos 10 minutes before you walk in. You build it by practicing detachment before you ever need it. Here's how. 1. Detach from the outcome. Yes, you want the job. Yes, you want the deal. But what if you didn't need it? What if this meeting was just one of many stepping stones, not your only shot? Tell yourself this. This is not a test of my worth. It's a window into whether we align. When you can say that and believe it, your nerves drop, your clarity increases, your power returns. 2. Ground yourself in preparation, not performance. Stoics prepare, but they don't act, they embody. Don't rehearse lines, master ideas. Know your value so well that you can speak about it calmly, not convincingly. Because people don't hire certainty, they hire calm certainty. 3. Own your posture and breath. Before you enter, pause. Breathe in deep through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 2. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Do this 3 times. This resets your nervous system. You've told your body, "I am not in danger." And the body follows the breath. The voice follows the body. The room follows the voice. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin level, eyes alert but not tense. Now you've stepped into the Stoic frame. You're no longer hoping, you're offering. Chapter 2. Presence over performance. Why your energy speaks louder than your voice. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. In every room, there are 2 conversations happening. One is verbal, words, phrases, prepared answers. The other is energetic, your posture, your eye contact, your tone, your stillness, your ability to sit in silence without fidgeting. Most people obsess over the first, but Stoics dominate the second. Why? Because presence is the most powerful currency in any high-stakes interaction, and it's the one that can't be faked. Performance versus presence. When you're performing, you're monitoring everything. Am I talking too much? Did that answer sound smart enough? Do they like me? Should I smile more? This creates mental noise, and that noise makes you disconnected, tense, reactive. The room feels it. But when you shift into presence, your energy becomes still, centered, unshakable. That presence creates a gravitational pull. It says, I don't need to impress you. I'm simply here, fully. And that calmness, it spreads. Because in every meeting and interview, people unconsciously follow the most centered person in the room. If it's not them, it might as well be you. How Stoics project presence 1. They don't rush to fill silence. Most candidates panic when there's silence after an answer. They start rambling, explaining, overqualifying. A Stoic finishes his sentence, pauses, and lets it land. He trusts the weight of his words. He doesn't need to fill the space, he commands it. 2. They speak fewer words, with greater precision. You don't need to say a lot to make an impression. In fact, saying less often makes you appear more thoughtful, more composed, and more authoritative. Think of your answers like arrows, each one aimed, drawn back slowly, and released with purpose. No flinching, no showmanship, just clean delivery. 3. They maintain eye contact without aggression. Eye contact isn't a power move, it's a signal of comfort. Don't stare people down like you're trying to win something. Just look directly, gently, and stay with them until the point is made. Then look away naturally, not submissively. You're not trying to dominate. You're trying to demonstrate inner calm. And people feel calm in your eyes when you're not seeking approval behind them. 4. They align their energy to the room, but never mirror weakness. If the room is calm, you stay calm. If the energy is high, you raise yours slightly, but never chase it. The moment you start mimicking the interviewer's tone, posture, or pace to try and match their vibe, you slip into performance. A Stoic doesn't match, he anchors. He allows others to rise to his level of composure. Presence isn't loud, it's unmistakable. A Stoic can sit in a room and say nothing for 10 minutes and still leave people affected. Because presence doesn't require sound, it requires stillness. That stillness creates space. Space creates tension, and tension, handled well, creates respect. In a world of oversharers, the man who speaks calmly, slowly, and confidently, and only when he has something worth saying, becomes rare, and rare is remembered. Chapter 3. Respond like a warrior, not a worrier. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Every interview or meeting comes with one guaranteed moment. You'll be tested. Maybe it's a sharp question. Maybe it's a challenge to your experience. Maybe it's awkward silence. Maybe it's someone interrupting, rushing, or doubting you. In that moment, most people flinch. Their voice changes. Their breathing quickens. They try harder. They shrink into fix-it mode. But the Stoic? He doesn't react. He responds. And the way he responds makes all the difference. The warrior reacts. The warrior responds. A warrior sees challenge and tightens up. His thoughts scramble. He speaks faster. His body tenses. And worst of all, he makes the moment about himself. A warrior sees challenge and grounds deeper. He slows down. He gets quieter inside. His posture remains steady. He reminds himself, this moment is not a threat. It's an opportunity to reveal my preparation. That's the Stoic mindset. That's the response of a man who is ruled by principle, not pressure. Stoic responses to common meeting interview challenges. Tell me about a time you failed. The warrior tries to spin it. Well, I guess I failed, but not really. The Stoic owns it calmly. I failed once when I underestimated a timeline and didn't flag it early enough. It taught me 2 things. Speak up when risk emerges, and that accountability isn't weakness, it's leadership. No panic, no sugarcoating, just truth, delivered like a man who's learned from scars. Why should we choose you over someone else? The warrior compares. He sells, he begs. The Stoic grounds. That's your decision. I'm here because I know I can bring calm, clarity, and solutions. If that aligns with what you need, I'm ready. Powerful, honest, detached. When they interrupt you or seem disinterested, the warrior tries harder, speeds up, gets rattled. The Stoic pauses, waits, then either calmly continues or asks, Would you like me to keep going? Not passive, not aggressive, just present. The difference isn't the situation, it's your frame. How to train your warrior responses practice. Your worst-case questions aloud, slowly. Get comfortable hearing yourself speak uncomfortable truth. Train your nervous system to stay calm while discussing failure, challenge, or rejection. Answer, then stop talking. End your sentence, then stop. No extra disclaimers, no justifications. Train yourself to land your point without needing to soften it. Rehearse with stillness. Stand, breathe, answer. Keep your hands relaxed, shoulders down, no bouncing knees. Your body tells the room whether you're leading or defending. Final rule, control the flame. Without killing the fire, Stoics aren't robots. They're just men who channel emotion instead of leaking it. You can be passionate, you can care, you can want it, but don't let your nervous system tell the story for you. Let your discipline speak first. Let your response be the loudest message in the room. Because when you stop reacting, you start leading. Chapter 4. Mastering the pause. Let silence work for you. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. Epictetus. In a meeting or interview, silence is a weapon. Used wrong, it becomes awkward, weak, or passive. But used with purpose, silence becomes power. The Stoic man understands this. He doesn't just speak well, he stops well. He knows that a well-timed pause can land harder than 100 perfect words. Because silence has gravity, and gravity commands attention. In a world where everyone is trying to be heard, the man who can master silence is the man who owns the room. Why silence is so powerful? Silence makes people lean in. It makes them uncomfortable, in a good way. It creates space, and space creates tension, and tension makes people listen. Most people speak to escape that tension. The Stoic speaks to build it, and then lets silence do the rest. 3 Stoic uses of silence in meetings and interviews. 1. The pre-answer pause. Most people jump into their response the second a question is asked, not the Stoic. He pauses, breathes, thinks. Even 2 to 3 seconds of calm before speaking signals presence and control. It says, I'm not rushing to impress. I'm here to deliver value, clearly. Example. Question. What makes you different from the other candidates? Response, after a pause. I don't try to be different. I focus on being dependable, and that's increasingly rare. That pause before answering gives your words weight. 2. The mid-answer reset. Sometimes you're halfway through an answer and realize you're rambling. Most people panic. They speed up to land the plane. The Stoic simply stops, breathes, refocuses. He may even say, let me rephrase that more clearly. That calm mid-answer reset doesn't show weakness, it shows maturity. It says you're more interested in being clear than being slick, and clarity is magnetic. 3. The post-answer drop. This is the moment that separates the amateurs from the masters. Most people finish their answer and immediately add, does that make sense? Just to add one more thing. And what I meant by that is, all of it weakens your response. The Stoic answers, and then stops. He lets the words breathe. He lets the room absorb. He lets them speak next. And in doing so, he signals that he trusts what he said. And that confidence is more impressive than any buzzword you could have added. But what if they stare at you in silence? Good. Hold the silence. Let them break it. Most people rush to fill silence because they fear it means disapproval. Stoics know better. They know silence might just mean, we're processing what you said. Let the interviewer or client be the one to ask the next question. Let your words echo in the space. If you treat every silence as a threat, you'll perform like you're on trial. But if you treat silence as a strategic pause, you'll speak like a leader. Practicing the Stoic pause. Here's how to train it. Record yourself answering tough questions. Then replay and listen for where you could have paused to let it land. Practice deliberate stillness during conversations. Just breathe, listen, and let silence hang before responding. Remind yourself, not rushing is not weakness, it's presence. Silence is respect for yourself and the room. A man who isn't afraid of silence is a man who's secure. He doesn't rush. He doesn't chase approval. He lets others sit in the space he creates, and they feel it. That's the kind of presence people remember long after you've walked out the door. That's Stoic leadership, and it speaks louder than words. Chapter 5. Controlling the outcome by releasing the outcome. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. Let's get something straight. You don't control the outcome. You control the input, your preparation, your energy, your presence, your clarity. But whether or not you land the job, close the deal, or win their approval, that's not yours to hold. The Stoic knows this, and instead of resisting it, he leans into it. Because what's more powerful than trying to control the outcome? Letting it go, and showing up like a man who doesn't need it. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous. Most people negotiate from fear. They walk into the room needing something, the offer, the validation, the handshake. They try to read faces, guess reactions, interpret tone. They chase, they adjust, they perform. But in doing so, they communicate one thing loud and clear. I don't believe I have value unless you give it to me. The Stoic walks in the opposite way. He knows he brings value. He knows rejection isn't death, it's redirection. He knows that needing nothing makes people want to give you everything, not because you begged for it, but because you didn't. Letting go isn't laziness, it's leverage. When you stop obsessing over how it ends, you start owning how it unfolds. That freedom makes you more relaxed in conversation, more present in the room, more curious in your tone, more creative in your answers, and more willing to walk away. And nothing communicates power like the man who can walk away without flinching. Because most people can't. They're too tied to the outcome, too emotionally invested, too desperate to please. You, on the other hand, you're here to offer, to serve, to create alignment, but not to chase. And if alignment isn't found, you leave with your center intact. That's the Stoic advantage. How to practice outcome detachment. Before the meeting one, play the what if I don't get it game. Ask yourself, what if this doesn't work out? Then answer calmly, I'll still be whole, I'll still have my skill set, I'll still be aligned with my purpose, I'll still improve from the experience. This mindset recenters your focus. It says, I'm here to contribute, not convince. 2. Anchor to process, not praise. Before the meeting, remind yourself, I'm here to speak clearly, listen fully, and show who I am. If that resonates, great. If not, I remain the same. You're not here to chase praise. You're here to model calm competence. 3. Detach emotionally, commit mentally. There's a difference between being emotionally needy and being mentally invested. The Stoic brings full preparation and presence, without attaching his identity to the outcome. He gives his best, then lets go, and that freedom becomes your edge. Your power lies in what you're willing to lose. The man who can sit across the table, deliver his truth, and leave with his peace. That man is rare. That man is respected. That man is remembered. Most people give their power away in interviews and meetings by trying to manipulate the result. You keep yours by surrendering it and showing up with clarity instead. Because the moment you stop needing the win is the moment you start playing like someone who already has it. Chapter 6. Leave like a king. What you don't say is what they'll remember. A man should be upright, not kept upright. Marcus Aurelius. The meeting is winding down. The final questions have been asked. The closing handshake is in sight. This is where most people lose their posture. They overtalk. They nervously resell themselves. They fumble through fake gratitude, unnecessary jokes, or awkward small talk, because they're trying to leave with approval. But the Stoic? He leaves with presence. No rush, no neediness, no desperate last impressions. He doesn't just end strong, he ends still. How you end is what echoes people remember. How you leave more than how you start. The last impression is often the most powerful. So if you walk out with composure, confidence, calm eye contact, a simple thank you and a silence that respects the moment, you leave them with weight. It's not about arrogance, it's about dignity. 3 ways to leave like a king. 1. Don't try to impress in the last 60 seconds. If you've done your job in the meeting, there's nothing left to prove. Don't try to land one more clever line. Don't summarize your value like a closing argument. Don't fish for reassurance. Say something simple, director, real. Thank you for the conversation. I appreciated it. I enjoyed speaking with you. Hope the rest of your day is smooth. And then leave. That simplicity carries power. 2. Walk slowly. Stand tall. Don't look back. Literally. Your exit is a visual signature. So don't rush for the door. Don't bow your head. Don't spin for one last, by the way. Stand tall. Shoulders back. Calm, relaxed walk. Leave like a man who owns his time, not like someone hoping he made a good impression, because the one who needs nothing gets remembered. 3. Detach from their reaction. Maybe they smile. Maybe they stay cold. Doesn't matter. You're not walking out to validate their response. You're walking out as the same man who walked in, with clarity, with control, with inner weight. That's what leaves a mark. Not the words, not the jokes, the energy. Your silence in the final moment can be louder than your whole presentation. And what if you don't get it? Good. Then it wasn't yours. Or not yours yet. Or not aligned. You're not in this game to win everything. You're in it to become someone who doesn't crumble when things don't go his way. A Stoic doesn't rise and fall with outcomes. He walks into every room with the same posture, and he walks out with it too, whether crowned or cast aside. Final words. The world doesn't need louder candidates. It needs calmer ones. It needs fewer performers, and more men who can sit in their own truth without flinching. Meetings, interviews, negotiations. They're not about who speaks best. They're about who holds his frame when it matters most. So walk in without need, speak without rush, respond without fear, pause with purpose, detach from outcome, and walk out like a king, because that's what Stoicism was built for. And in a world of anxious men, the Stoic always stands out.